Okay. Graham Gouldman from 10cc, welcome to Australian Musician.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
I just discovered today that we share a birthday, May 10.
Ah, what a great day that was.
Happy birthday for a couple of weeks ago.
Same to you.
Are you a typical Taurian, a little bit stubborn at times?
I am. But yeah, I do. I don't really believe in that stuff, but there are Taurian traits that I have to say.
Yeah.
But the positive ones, I think.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It was only a year ago that you were in Australia with 10cc, and you're coming back in July. Uh,
Yeah.
are you digging deeper back into the back catalogue this time?
I think there will be a couple of songs that we're doing that we didn't do the last time we were in Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we know there are songs that we have to do. I'm very much aware of what people want to hear, and quite right. They want to hear all the hits. So the show is really a combination of that and various album tracks, and yeah, a couple of surprises, I hope.
Yeah. You've just released a new solo single, Don't Want to Go to Heaven. Will you sneak that one in?
No, we won't be doing that one. Oh, the song we did with Kevin. Yeah. Um, no, we're not doing that at the moment, but that we might do it at some future time. It's possible.
Yeah. So when you look back on 10cc's career, what are the standout memories for you?
I think the first thing I think of is actually when we started, how exciting it was, and it was kind of unknown. We always when the four of us we had been working together under various guises, and we're kind of like the session band at the studio or at our own studio, Strawberry Studios. Um, when we decided that we could be a band ourselves and started making music together, it was really exciting. And particularly when our first single went in the charts, it was kind of like validation that we knew we had something, but it was nice that everyone else thought so as well.
Any regrets attached to the band?
Only that Kevin Lowell left.
Yeah.
That's, I think we could have gone on to do greater things. But this is what happens with bands, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the big regret.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about the recording of I'm Not in Love. Now, most people
Mhm.
who say that will go on to talk about the vocal harmonies. I wanted to talk about your bass parts. I never really
Right.
appreciated the bass parts in that song until I saw you play it live in Melbourne
Yeah.
last year, and
Okay.
your playing was so sublime. What do you remember about recording the bass parts?
In that, well, the section that sort of bass solo is in the middle of the song, um, was originally going to be a sung part, but we didn't think it worked, so we took the vocal off, and I think it just sounded empty. Well, it would have sounded empty because there was no vocal there, just the chords. Um, and I don't remember actually how the idea came up, or whether I just started playing something and it kind of everyone went, "Oh, that sounds great. Let's just leave that in there." But I think when I did it, it came pretty much in like one go. I can't remember sort of spending hours dropping in and dropping out on it. I think it was like a one or two takes anyway. But it works great, I think, and it is unusual to have that. But then again, lots of aspects of the record of "I'm Not in Love" are quite unusual as well.
Yeah. So was the bass going straight into the desk? Did you mic an amp?
Yeah, no amp, no. Always put it straight in the desk. I always like to put the bass on as late as possible. I
Yeah.
always felt that sonically, once things start, you start overdubbing other things on a rhythm track, like sort of say the rhythm track was just like a keyboard, a bass, guitar, and drums, that the bass kind of gets lost. And also I had a much clearer picture of what I wanted to play, even you know, during that section. And even if whatever I'm recording, I like to put the bass on later on.
Yeah. Um, I did a phone interview with you last time we spoke.
Yeah.
There's one question that I asked you that I want to revisit while I've got you on video. Uh,
Okay. I hope I give you the same answer.
in 1975, there was an epic song on the original soundtrack album called One Night in Paris.
Yes.
And later that year, Queen released Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
I always saw similarities between the two songs, and
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I asked you if you thought that Bohemian Rhapsody might have been inspired by One Night in Paris.
I've no doubt about it. I'm sure it is. I mean, it's too much of a coincidence. I mean, um, I think that Bohemian Rhapsody is a much more was obviously like a big hit. You know, it's more accessible. But the general idea of doing some sort of long epic piece, I mean, I know that Queen listened to us and we listened to them. So yes, because I worked with Brian May uh, about 3 years ago on a track called "Floating in Heaven," which is about the James Webb Space Telescope, and that's why I contacted him to play on the record because of his connection with astronomy and astrophysics.
Yeah, I think you played that track in Australia last year.
Yeah, 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 and we're still going to do that.
Yeah. So when was the last time you played One Night in Paris live?
The last time we played One Night in Paris live, I reckon would have been 1976 at Nebworth, the Nebworth Festival, when we played there, and we opened with it actually. Very brave, I think. Um, yeah, I think that was the last time because the Kevin Lowell left the band quite soon afterwards. And for a long time, we didn't actually do all the songs that we did in the live show were written by myself and Eric. Um, but it'd be quite a feat to do it. I have been asked to do it. I just feel it's so synonymous with Kevin and Lol. Well, obviously, because they wrote it, that I don't feel it's right for me to do it today.
Okay. Yeah. I wanted to talk a little bit about your non-10cc history. You wrote For Your Love, Heart Full of Soul and Evil-Hearted You for the Yardbirds, Bus Stop for the Hollies. Did you have a publisher at the time, or were you just
Yeah.
friends of the bands? How did those
No,
bands?
it was all through it was all through a publisher. And the only song that wasn't through a publisher was Bus Stop because the Hollies had already recorded Look Through Any Window. And so after that, I wrote Bus Stop specially for them.
Yeah,
Um, so that went, so it did go to them through a publisher, but I can't say we were sort of mates or anything.
yeah. It's been said that Eric Clapton left the Yardbirds because of For Your Love.
I
But
think I think it was the uh, sort of the last straw for him that he didn't like the direction that the Yardbirds were going in. You know, they were because they were really like a blues band, you know, and he didn't like the fact that they wanted to have hits. Of course, he went on to have lots of hits himself.
have you crossed paths with Eric much over
I did many years ago, and he did mutter something uncomplimentary, as far as I remember. But no, he's a brilliant guitar. All I'll say is he's a fantastic guitarist.
Yeah. Do you still do much writing for other artists?
Um, I do a little bit. Yes, it's very difficult to get covers with artists these days. So I tend to write with the artists, and I've been working with some new people. Um, and I love doing it. You know, I mean, the chances of things getting covered now. I mean, if you get an artist, say like Michael Bublé or Tom Jones, who don't write their own songs, but if they're going to do an album of original material, the whole world of every songwriter in the world is going to want to try and get a track on that album, and it's very, very difficult. Yeah, so if I'm writing songs, it's actually I'm the only artist that will do them. Yeah, I mean, I put out a new solo album last year called I Have Notes, and which I'm very proud of. But to get covers on tracks, you know, the sort of songs I write anyway aren't really kind of current. You know, I'm more of a sort of classical, you know, the generation I come from write very different songs to the songwriters of today.
Yeah. So you're not
And
in,
the production is a whole different thing as well.
yeah, you're not into auto tune.
I'm not against it, but it has to be used discreetly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do, I like to get into it, if you do a great take and it feels fantastic, but there's one note that's like really bugging you that's like a bit sharp or flat, whatever, just to tweak it without it sounding unnatural is fine by me.
Yeah. So how do you know when a song is done and to leave it alone?
Good question. It's like anything to do with writing, it's just instinctive. That's it. It's done.
Yeah.
Same when you're recording it as well, to know when to stop. You know, you can put that other little bit of paint on that picture and it's suddenly it doesn't feel right. Of course, you can take it off.
Do you share your music with people for an opinion, or you just keep it all to yourself?
Yes, I do, because when some of the songs I wrote on my own and some I write with other people. So obviously, whoever I'm collaborating with, or if I'm co-producing something, which a lot of the things are, then I will seek an opinion. But I I know what's right and I know what's wrong. So it's kind of for like confirmation, really. I just any writer will know this is the way it is. This is how it came. It was delivered, the song was delivered into my head like this. And so I'm not going to change that chord because it's already done, you know.
Yeah. Um, Something else that you did was produced an album for the Ramones. Uh,
Yeah.
Pleasant Dreams. What are your memories of that experience?
Well, it was a weird one because I mean, my initial reaction to being asked was, why me? And it was nothing to do with 10cc. It was, I think it was to do with the fact that I was associated with the British invasion, with bands like the Yardbirds and the Hollies, and the Ramones loved that. And that's why it happened. I mean, I did say at the very beginning when I met them, I said, in case this might not work, so let's just record 2 or 3 tracks and see what happens. If we like it, we'll carry on, and if we don't, we'll say nice to meet you and goodbye. But they seemed very happy with what we were doing, and the album was recorded really quickly. They'd already rehearsed everything, so it was just a matter of getting the right take, and I did a few overdubs, which was unusual for them. But I know Joe was happy with the album. Johnny, I found out later, wasn't happy with it. But anyway, for me, it was it looks good on my CV.
Yeah, for sure. You've released a few solo albums fairly recently.
Yeah.
Why no new 10cc album? Are there legal hurdles to that? Or
No legal hurdles. I think at the moment, let me just say that I always felt it was being the only original member and having a sort of what I call 10cc touring band, bringing the music of 10cc live, the nearest you're going to ever hear it as like the original records, is okay. But I do have a little bit of a problem with recording under that name. That doesn't mean to say it'll never happen, but that's how I'm feeling at the moment.
yeah. The current touring band have been together quite some time now.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
what's the rehearsal regime like? You play so often, I assume you don't have to rehearse too much.
No, but we'll rehearse a lot. I mean, we have um, because people live apart. One of our guys, Rick Fenn, who's our lead guitarist, actually lives in Australia. Um, if we're doing new material, we'll rehearse, and if we've got like a substitute player who'll have had rehearsed on his own, then we'll rehearse with them as well. But I've got such a great bunch of guys to call on that have all played with us for so long that it's, unless we're doing something new. I mean, if we've had a big long gap, we've had quite a bit of a gap now, but I know what the music that we're going to be doing are songs. There's nothing sort of new, so we'll just go straight into it.
Uh,
Muscle memory.
yeah. What are you most proud of in your music career?
Oh wow. I don't know. I think I can't, it's very hard. I've never been asked that before. I guess one thought that's nice as you get older is that the fact that you'll be able to leave something that will be like some sort of legacy, you know. I think bringing pleasure to people. And I see that more and more. I'm more aware of it. When we're playing and you can see people are smiling or they're just taken to another place, or even if people are crying as well. Oh, they're so moved by certain songs that bring back memories. I mean, to have the ability to be a part of that, I think is wonderful.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to most about the Australian tour?
Just being back in Australia, I love it there. And also my son lives in Sydney, so I'll be looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah. All right, Graham, it's been great to chat to you, and we look
Yeah.
forward to seeing you very soon.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much, Greg. Cheers. All the best.